I always thought the biggest lie in our house was the one my stepdad told about his business trips. I was wrong. The biggest lie was happening right under my mother's nose, in the room right across the hallway. And the moment she opened that door, my entire world didn't just crumble, it exploded. If you think you've had a complicated family dynamic, wait until you hear how one rainy Tuesday turned my life into a national scandal in our small town. You're going to want to stick around because the why behind this story is something nobody saw coming. My name is Maya. And 3 years ago, my mom married David. David was great on paper. He was stable, kind, and he came with a son, Leo. Leo was 2 years older than me, athletic, quiet, and honestly, we hated each other at first. We were forced into this perfect suburban life in Seattle. Two strangers living in the same house, sharing a bathroom, and pretending to be a family for the sake of our parents' happiness. But while our parents were busy at galas and work meetings, Leo and I were left in the silence of a house that didn't feel like home. We started talking, really talking, out of pure loneliness. We weren't siblings by blood, and we certainly didn't feel like them. We were just two kids caught in the crossfire of their parents' second chances. It started with late-night movies when our parents were out. Then it turned into secrets. Leo was the only one who knew I was failing chemistry. I was the only one who knew he wanted to drop out of pre-med. One night, the tension just snapped. It wasn't like the movies. There was no romantic music. It was desperate and confusing. We knew it was wrong, not because of biology, but because of the chaos it would cause. We promised it would be a one-time thing. But one time turned into 2 months. We became experts at the quiet game. We knew exactly which floorboards creaked and exactly when Mom's Volvo would pull into the driveway. We were living a double life. I felt guilty every time I looked at my mother, but when I was with Leo, that guilt just vanished. It was a Tuesday. My mom was supposed to be at her book club until 9 p.m. Leo and I were in his room, the door locked, or so we thought. We were looking at old photos, laughing, sitting way too close, lost in our own little bubble. We didn't hear the garage door. We didn't hear the footsteps. The lock on Leo's door was finicky. If you pushed hard enough, it popped open, and that's exactly what my mother did. She wanted to ask Leo if he'd seen her reading glasses. The silence that followed was deafening. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just stood there, her face turning a ghostly shade of white as she looked at my hand in his and the way we jumped apart. She saw the guilt written all over our faces. "Maya?" she whispered. That whisper hurt more than a shout. The next 24 hours were a blur of shouting matches, David moving out into a hotel, and my mother refusing to look me in the eye. The perfect family was gone. Leo and I were separated immediately. He was sent to live with his biological mother in California, and I was grounded for what felt like a lifetime. But the worst part wasn't the punishment. It was the realization that in trying to find a connection, we had destroyed the only stability our parents had ever found. Relationships are messy, and blended families are a minefield no one gives you a map for. I'm still not speaking to Leo, and my mom and I are in therapy, trying to pick up the pieces. But I want to hear from you. Do you think my mom overreacted since we aren't blood related, or was this the ultimate betrayal? Drop a comment below. I'll be reading them. And if you want to hear the update on what happened when Leo tried to call me last week, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thanks for listening to my story. I'll see you in the next one.